For years, Marsau Scott of Love and Marriage. Huntsville built his public persona on the idea that he was the strong, confident, and unbothered husband who always had control of his life and marriage. He was the man who would never beg anyone for anything, especially a woman. Yet here we are today. Marsau Scott is begging on his knees, pleading with Latisha to stay after years of cheating allegations, shady business moves, and consistent gaslighting. And the real question is, why now? What pushed Latisha to finally take a stand? And is Marsau genuinely remorseful? Or is this just another calculated move to keep his marriage intact for the cameras? Stay with me because the truth behind this situation is messier than you think. For years, fans of Love and Marriage, Huntsville have watched Marsau Scott and Latisha's marriage endure relentless scrutiny. From the moment Martel Holt threw out those infamous cheating accusations against Marsau, the allegations have been swirling. Yet Marsau has been dodging, deflecting, and laughing off these rumors, never once admitting to any wrongdoing. But recently, something shifted. Latisha, who has stood by Marsau's side through every scandal, every whisper, and every side chick allegation, seems to have finally had enough. And now Marsau, the man who claimed he would never beg, is pleading with his wife. So what changed? Did Latisha uncover hard evidence of an affair? Did someone come forward with undeniable proof? Or is this all just a PR stunt to control the narrative? In today's video, we're going to break down exactly what happened between Marsau and Latisha, the latest allegations, and whether Marsau's sudden change of heart is genuine or simply damage control. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we've uncovered. If you've been following Love and Marriage, Huntsville from the beginning, you already know that Marsau Scott's name has been tangled in cheating rumors for years. It all started when Martel Holt, dealing with his own public cheating scandal, decided to air everyone else's dirty laundry. Martel implied that he wasn't the only one stepping out on his marriage, and of course, Marsau's name was quickly brought into the conversation. Now, let's be real. Marsau's reaction didn't help his case. Instead of denying it outright, he laughed it off. He turned the situation into a joke, constantly dodging questions and deflecting accusations with his usual sarcastic, dismissive attitude. For a long time, Marsau managed to keep the rumors at bay with humor, but as time passed, the accusations kept piling up. Women came forward on social media, claiming to have interacted with Marsau behind Latisha's back. Cryptic messages and anonymous DMs suggested that Marsau had been seen with women who weren't his wife, sometimes in Atlanta, sometimes in Huntsville. Even Marsau's own behavior began to seem suspicious. He avoided direct questions, refused to be transparent with Latisha, and never seemed to take the allegations seriously. Yet, through it all, Latisha stood by his side. She defended him, called the rumors lies, and insisted that her husband was faithful. Even when fans begged her to open her eyes and recognize the truth, Latisha stayed loyal to Marsau, believing that their marriage was unshakable. But now, something has changed. Latisha isn't defending Marsau as quickly as she used to. She's not shutting down the rumors as fast as before, and most telling of all, Marsau isn't laughing this time. He's pleading. So what changed? What new information has surfaced that has caused Latisha to finally stand up for herself? Sources close to the situation claim that Latisha recently received undeniable proof that Marsau had been unfaithful. This is no longer the vague hearsay or internet gossip that could be dismissed. This time, Latisha has received hard evidence that she simply couldn't ignore. It all started with an anonymous direct message sent to a well-known Huntsville blogger. The message allegedly contained screenshots of text conversations between Marsau and an unidentified woman. Along with the screenshots, there was a hotel receipt with Marsau's name on it, along with allegations that Marsau had been secretly meeting up with this woman for years. Now, this isn't the first time someone has come forward with receipts, but what makes this different? Why is Latisha reacting so strongly this time? According to insiders, this woman isn't just some random side chick looking for attention. She allegedly has connections to someone in Latisha's inner circle. This means the betrayal isn't just coming from Marsau. It's coming from someone Latisha may have trusted. And that, as you can imagine, changes everything. Even before this latest revelation, fans had noticed a change in Marsau's behavior. He's been acting more reserved on social media, less cocky, less playful. His usual sarcastic, dismissive attitude about the cheating rumors has been gone. And most importantly, he's been working overtime to keep Latisha happy. This is not the Marsau we've seen for years. The Marsau we knew was carefree, smug, and almost arrogant about the accusations. He'd laugh them off, call people crazy, and insist he didn't owe anyone an explanation. But now, he's in full damage control mode, and that tells us one thing. There's something real behind these latest rumors. If you follow Latisha on social media, you've probably noticed some subtle but telling changes. Recently, she liked a post about knowing when to walk away from a man who takes you for granted. She stopped posting pictures with Marsau as frequently, which is a huge red flag for someone who used to showcase their marriage proudly. In one of her Instagram stories, she wrote, "I'm stronger than I ever knew." Now, we all know how these reality TV stars operate. They love playing little mind games on social media. But for Latisha, this shift is out of character. She's usually the one to shut down rumors quickly, so the fact that she's letting this narrative linger speaks volumes. The public is watching, and Latisha's actions are a stark contrast to the woman who used to defend Marsau without question. One of the biggest signs that something is going on behind the scenes is the way their family members have been acting. Latisha's mother, Miss Wanda, has been unusually quiet about the situation. Normally, she's the first one to jump to Marsau's defense, attacking anyone who dares question their marriage. But this time? Silence. Marsau's brother, Maurice, Scott, was recently asked about the situation in an interview, and instead of defending his brother, he said, "I just hope they figure things out." Even Melody Sherry, Marsau's longtime rival, threw some subtle shade, commenting on a post about Marsau and Latisha with 3 popcorn emojis. Clearly, something is going down behind the scenes. So with all these signs pointing to trouble, it makes sense why Marsau is suddenly in panic mode. For years, he's built his public persona around being confident, unbothered, and always in control. But now, his facade is cracking. For the first time, Marsau isn't just dismissing the rumors. He's actively trying to convince Latisha to stay. Let's be real. Men like Marsau don't just start begging out of nowhere. So what's making him panic? What does he really stand to lose if Latisha walks away? For years, Marsau and Latisha branded themselves as the strong, successful couple, the business-minded power duo of love and marriage, Huntsville. They've built their entire public image on the idea that they are unshakable. But if Latisha leaves, that image is shattered. Marsau goes from being the strong, in-control husband to just another reality star who got caught up in scandal and lost his marriage. Let's not forget that love and marriage, Huntsville, is built on couples. If they split, it could affect their future on the show. Marsau knows this isn't just about love, it's about protecting their empire, and that's something he's not willing to let go of so easily. While Marsau often presents himself as the man in charge, Latisha holds a lot more power than people realize. She's a businesswoman in her own right, and many of their business ventures, including real estate investments, have her name on them. Latisha is the one keeping their family dynamic steady. She's the one who has been running the show behind the scenes while Marsau plays businessman. If Latisha leaves, Marsau will have to deal with more than just the emotional fallout. There's a financial aspect to this too. If she files for divorce, she could demand alimony or compensation for emotional distress. Splitting assets, businesses, properties, and any joint accounts would all come into play. A divorce would be a huge blow to Marsau, both financially and personally. One thing we've seen time and time again is that Marsau thrives on control. He's always been the one to call the shots in his marriage, dismissing Latisha's concerns whenever she questioned him. But now, Latisha is making her own decisions. She's questioning things publicly, and for the first time, Marsau is realizing that he may not be able to talk his way out of this. And that terrifies him. If Latisha really walks away, Marsau's world will crumble. His personal brand will take a massive hit. His credibility as a businessman will be damaged. And let's not forget, the rumors are no longer just rumors. They've become facts in the public's eyes. If Latisha speaks out or drops bombshell receipts, Marsau could lose everything: his marriage, his business empire, and his reputation. So where do things stand right now? Marsau is in full damage control mode. He's scrambling to hold things together, trying to convince Latisha to stay. But will she? Or is this finally the moment where Latisha chooses herself over the marriage? One thing's for sure: Marsau is in uncharted territory, and if Latisha walks away, he'll have no one to blame but himself. We'll be keeping a close eye on this situation because something tells me that this is only the beginning. As the situation continues to unfold, we can't help but wonder if Marsau's sudden shift in behavior, his begging and pleading with Latisha to stay, is a genuine emotional response or just another calculated move. For years, Marsau has been able to control the narrative surrounding his marriage, deftly dodging accusations and deflecting blame. He built a persona that reflected confidence, power, and the idea that he could manipulate any situation to his advantage. But now, as Latisha seems to be pulling away, it's clear that his grip is slipping. Latisha, on the other hand, has always been the loyal wife, the woman who stood by Marsau through thick and thin, defending him against the mounting allegations. She defended him when the rumors were just whispers, when the accusations were based on hearsay. But with the new evidence and the growing concerns about Marsau's behavior, something has shifted. Latisha isn't standing by him the way she used to. She's not defending him so easily. The woman who once shut down every accusation quickly and fiercely is now questioning things more openly. This sudden change in Latisha's stance has had a ripple effect not only on their personal lives, but also on their public image. The power couple image that they've carefully cultivated for years is crumbling. Fans and critics alike are now looking at their relationship under a microscope, and it's clear that the cracks are starting to show. So, the million-dollar question remains: will Marsau's pleas be enough to fix the damage he's caused? Or is Latisha finally realizing her worth and choosing to walk away for good? Marsau has always prided himself on being the man who is always in control. He presented himself as the ultimate businessman, the unshakable leader of his family, and the strong, confident husband who could handle anything that came his way. But now, his carefully crafted public persona is at risk of falling apart. The Love and Marriage Huntsville franchise has centered around the relationships of its couples. If Latisha decides to leave, the image of Marsau and Latisha as the ultimate power couple will be shattered. Their brand, built on the foundation of a solid marriage, would take a significant blow. But the reality is, it's not just about their image on the show. It's about Marsau's personal brand. He has made a name for himself as a successful businessman, an entrepreneur, and someone who can weather the storms of public scrutiny. If his marriage falls apart, so does his carefully constructed image. In addition to his public persona, Marsau has more to lose financially than he's willing to admit. Latisha holds a substantial stake in their business ventures. While Marsau might have been the face of their empire, Latisha has always been the steady hand behind the scenes. She's been a critical part of the success they've achieved, and her departure could have a significant financial impact on him. Latisha is no pushover. She's been quietly making moves in her own right, handling business ventures and making decisions that will undoubtedly affect their joint ventures. If Latisha walks away, Marsau will not only lose his wife and the mother of his children, he could also lose his business partner and a key player in their financial future. This isn't just about love. This is about preserving his empire, and that's why Marcel is in full damage control mode. He's scrambling, trying to convince Latisha that they can work through their issues, but the question remains, is it too little too late? For Latisha, the betrayal she's experiencing is more than just the cheating rumors. This situation is about trust, self-worth, and breaking free from the cycle of defending someone who may not truly have her back. Latisha has always been portrayed as the supportive wife, the woman who stood by Marcel no matter what. But now, she's questioning whether her loyalty has been misplaced. The public perception of Latisha has also shifted. Fans have watched her transform from the woman who always stood by her husband's side to someone who is starting to assert her independence. She's been making moves on her own, taking control of her personal life and not relying on Marcel for validation. The fact that Latisha is finally standing up for herself in such a public way speaks volumes. Her cryptic social media posts, her less frequent posts with Marcel, and her recent statements about being stronger than I ever knew are all signs of a woman who is no longer blindly following her husband's narrative. She's taking charge of her own story. Latisha has had enough. She has shown tremendous strength by not only supporting her family, but also by building her own identity outside of her marriage. No longer is she the woman who defends Marcel at every turn. She is now questioning the situation with a level of clarity and confidence that she hasn't shown before. The question now is, will Latisha continue to move forward in her journey of self-empowerment, or will she be drawn back into the cycle of marital drama, desperately trying to hold on to a marriage that seems to be slipping through her fingers? While Marcel's public statements may sound remorseful, his actions behind closed doors tell a very different story. Publicly, he is pleading with Latisha to stay. He's showing a side of himself that we've never seen before, the vulnerable husband who is begging for his wife's forgiveness. But behind the scenes, sources say that Marcel is still playing the game, downplaying the situation, and blaming Latisha for being insecure rather than taking full accountability for his actions. According to insiders, Marcel has been telling people that Latisha isn't going anywhere, confident that she will eventually calm down and fall back in line. This suggests that, despite his public pleas, Marcel doesn't fully believe he is at risk of losing his wife. He's operating under the assumption that Latisha will eventually forgive him and that the situation will blow over. This nonchalant attitude toward his wife's feelings speaks volumes about where Marcel's priorities truly lie. He's more concerned with maintaining control of the situation than with actually addressing the issues at hand. His private behavior contradicts the remorse he's displaying publicly, and that's a significant red flag. A man who is truly sorry and wants to make things right would show consistent behavior. He would make an effort even when the cameras aren't on him. But in Marcel's case, it seems as though his apologies are more about damage control than genuine remorse. This discrepancy between his public and private actions shows that Marcel may not yet fully understand the gravity of his actions. Latisha has always been seen as the supportive wife, but now she is starting to step into her own light. This newfound independence is likely one of the hardest pills for Marcel to swallow. For years, he has been the one in control, both of the marriage and the narrative surrounding their lives. Now, Latisha is asserting herself, making decisions independently, and taking charge of her own narrative. This shift in Latisha's behavior is not just about her personal growth. It's a reflection of her refusal to continue living in the shadow of Marcel's actions. She's no longer allowing herself to be defined by the scandals surrounding her marriage. Latisha is proving that she can thrive on her own terms, whether it's in business or in life. The public may have once viewed her as the woman who was tethered to Marcel, but now, she's becoming an icon of strength and independence in her own right. Latisha's ability to stand firm in the face of betrayal, and continue to build her own identity is what makes her such a compelling figure. While Marcel is stuck in a cycle of trying to maintain control and avoid consequences, Latisha is moving forward, shaping her future, and making her own decisions. So, where do things stand now? Marcel is in full damage control mode, trying to convince Latisha to stay. He's using every tactic he knows to keep her from walking away. But the question remains, will Latisha stay? Or is this finally the moment where she chooses herself over the marriage? The power dynamics in their marriage have shifted. Marcel is no longer the one in control. Latisha is asserting her independence, and for the first time, Marcel is the one scrambling to keep the marriage intact. Whether he genuinely loves Latisha, or is simply desperate to maintain his public image remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the situation is far from over. The coming days will be crucial for the future of their relationship. Will Latisha decide to stay and work through the issues, or will she finally walk away from a marriage built on lies, betrayal, and manipulation? We'll continue to keep a close eye on this situation because something tells me that this could be the turning point in Marcel Scott's life. Latisha's strength and resolve are more powerful than ever, and she's proving that sometimes choosing yourself is the strongest choice you can make. Marcel, on the other hand, is finding out just how much he has to lose. Whether it's his marriage, his reputation, or his empire, the stakes have never been higher. Stay tuned because what happens next could change everything.